Hi there, it's Ali here from Funky Fossil. I'm on Sarah's DT and got my big girl pants on and I've come in to do a live. I didn't announce it earlier because I wasn't 100% sure on the time that I'd be coming in, but here I am, and if anybody's there, hi, hope you're having a wonderful bank holiday Monday. The weather is absolutely beautiful. As always, it started a bit yucky this morning, however, now it's just the sun shining, it's absolutely beautiful. So this is my very first live, and I'd really like you to be so gentle with me because it's a bit of a learning curve, and I'm just going to have a little bit of fun, pretend I'm talking to my friends. Well, you're all my friends, aren't you? So I'm going to talk to all my friends and just put a little quick card together. So what I've done is I've picked, by the way, the actual orientation to you is going to be back to front just because of the way my video camera works. So what I'll do is I'll do what I'm doing and I'll lift it up and turn it around so that you can see. Hi Mars, how are you, sweetheart? Nice to see you. Are you having a nice bank holiday Monday, and what's the weather like with you? So I'm just going to have play and create a background, and I'm going to be using two little stamp sets. They are a couple of my favourites. This one's designed by Addie Hansen, and it's the Be Beautiful stamp set. I've had this for quite a while. It's got a gorgeous, I'll turn it around so you can see it that way actually. It's got a gorgeous bee, beautiful hexagonal shape, a little baby bee, a couple of nice sentiments, and well, 3 nice sentiments and a couple of circular whatnots as I call them there. So we're going to be using that in there, and this little hexagonal stencil that's come with that as well. So I'll just pop that down. And this is one of my absolute favourites. I love this. This is the Queen Bee. This was designed by Mozart UK, and it's got the biggest bee I think I've ever seen in the history of stamps known to man. It is huge. If you look at the size of my hands and then look at that little bee there, well, little, not so little, she's the Queen Bee. She's absolutely beautiful. And what I've done, I've cut a few out prior to this so that you didn't see me cutting things out, because there's nothing worse than watching someone cut things out. It takes forever, especially when you're fussy cutting. But I've priorly done these. I've done these already. I've actually done them on my scan and cut, so they're all nicely ready to be coloured. So I'll just pop those to one side. And getting back to this beautiful bee stamp set, it's got the gorgeous wreath there. You've got the left and the right. Turn it around again. There you go. You've got the left and the right, so that you can create a wreath. And you've got the crown for the Queen, of course, and the fabulous Queen sentiment there, another sentiment here, and a little tiny bee there. And I've also got, just to add, a couple of the complementary stencils that go with that as well, the little hexagonals. I've even remembered to bring in my water. Lovely things, just chilling, hanging out on Facebook. Yeah, weather was lovely this morning. No, we've had it the other way around, Mals. We've got it where it was rubbish this morning, but it's come out beautiful now. So it's one of them, isn't it? But normally it absolutely pours down, doesn't it, on bank holidays? So you know, happy that it's not pouring down. Right, so I'm going to get this done and not take too much of your bank holiday Monday up. So I've got some watercolour card, and I've got some distress inks at the side of me here, and I'm just going to create a little background. So I've got the colours Fossilised Amber, I've got some Carved Pumpkin and Mermaid Lagoon, and I need my spray, and I've got some packaging. I'll show you what I'll do with that in a second. So I'm going to go from light to dark, and I'm just going to spray and create a little background. So I want to work in the centre, and I'll show you why in a second. I want to sort of orient it in the centre of the paper. So starting off like so. Okay, just grab myself a little baby wipe. I never come prepared. I'm terrible. Even when I'm doing pre-records, I'm terrible. So, you know, a live's going to be definitely be the making or the breaking of me. So I'm just going to give that a quick dry. I don't know how loud this is going to be, so just bear with me a second. Okay, I hope that isn't too loud, because I don't know how to mute it or turn it down at the moment. So as I say, I'm kind of working as I go. So, right, so I'm going to pop another. This time I'm using the Card Pumpkin, gorgeous colour. I'm using the Distress inks rather than the oxides, because I just want a little bit more of a prominent colour. With the Distress inks, it's a little bit stronger. You get more of a strong colour. Okay, and then I'm just popping that lovely Mermaid Lagoon on the top. I'm just going to add a little bit in there. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to grab that heat tool again. Hi. I don't know if it says Facebook user, so hi, whoever you are. And I'm just going to dry this off again. So if it's very loud, I do apologise. Bear with me a sec. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to pop this up here, and I'm just going to I'm going to use the Queen Bee, I think, on this. I stamped the other ones out just in case I was going to use them. So what I'm going to do is I've already popped onto a little palette, some palette paper of the same 3 colours, so that I can keep the uniformity of the colour in the project. And I'm not going to pop my brush in my brew. I'm going to pop it in the water. I have done that before. Ended up popping my paintbrush in my cup of tea. It was lovely. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Right, so then I'm just going to colour in the wings and the bee fluff. The bee fluff. So you'll have to bear with me if I do fluff up with me chatting. I can talk for England, you know, on any day of the week. Not a problem. I was forever told at school, you know, shush, shush. But then when it comes to doing something like this, it's like, oh my goodness. So, right. So I'm just popping the depth on the outside so that she's got some shade and darkness. Okay. And then on the wings, I'm just going to paint with a little bit of that beautiful Mermaid Lagoon. Okay, so I'm actually using a water brush. Sometimes the water can come out too quickly with this, but I'm trying not to squeeze too hard. Okie dokie. There we go, just a little bit more. You always got to remember that when you watercolour in, once it's dried, it dries back quite a lot lighter than what it is when you're actually putting it on. So when in doubt, give it a good slap on, that's what I say. What's the worst that can happen? Right, so she is looking absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to let her dry off now. Pop this to one side. As I say, I'm just going to make this a quickish video, just a little bit of something to ease myself into doing lives. I will never look at a bee in the same light. Bee fluff, yeah, I know. I don't know where that. I told you, it's verbal blah blah, isn't it? Verbal diarrhea. It's, you know, when you don't want to make a mistake with anything, you invariably make a mistake with everything. So, I've come out with some. The queen bee is a fab set. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's so big. You know, you really. I mean, she's an absolute centerpiece, isn't she? Stunning. That reminds me. I just grabbed my glue gel. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hexagon. Ooh, that was a bit noisy. Sorry about that. I'm going to use that gorgeous hexagon. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to try and not put very strong colours like black in. Let's see, let's have a look. I'm going to use this mermaid look, because if I stick with the colours that are in there, okay, I'll try not to tap too hard. See, I don't know how loud it comes, because sometimes when I listen to videos or watch videos and they use the heat gun and what have you, it's so loud. It's like, oops. So I'm just going to just gently pop that on and see if I get a second generation up there. Perfect. And then gentle, very heavy-handed. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here, so lightly on there, and then a bit of a second generation down there. So, okay, and then what I'll do, I don't know, shall I use the little hexagons to put some crackle paste through, this one, or which one do you think? Do you want number 1, number 2, or number 3? Which one shall I use? 1, 2, or 3? And then I can pop some crackle paste through there. The sound is good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, Corolla. Are you all right, darling? Nice to see you. This is my very first live. Be very gentle with me. Oh, dear. I'm just having a look, see if I can see any more comments. I'm shaking here. I don't know where I tell you. Crackpot. Right, so I think we'll go with this one. Okay. Or shall we? Shall we? Yeah, we'll go with this one. I've made an executive decision. Oh, number 2. Number 2, number 2, number 2. Right, so number 2 was this one, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. I've had other. Right, I've been told. Number 2. Right, okie dokie. So I'll use this one. All I'm doing is just popping a little bit on for interest. It's not going to be the whole thing. So I'm going to grab, I'm using texture paste. I'm using this, I've had it for ages. White Crackle texture paste. It's lovely. It's a lot better if you can leave it to dry naturally. But obviously in this instance, I'm going to have to give it a quick whiz over with the heat gun. Right, so I'm just going to pop some through there. This is just to add some texture. Oopsie daisy, there is a chunk there out of the. I'll pop some down here. Yeah, it's just to add some height and texture, another layer, I guess. And there we go. So there, I think, yeah, that looks okie dokie. Right, I'll just pop this into my. I actually remembered my water as well. Woohoo, go me. Because if you leave the crackle paste on your stencils and it dries, it's not very, it's a big job to get it off. So, right, so I'm going to attack that now with my heat tool, so just bear with me 1 second. Oh, thanks, Corolla. Bless your little cotton socks. Right, so bear with me. I'm just going to use this heat tool. Again, I'm sorry if it's loud. That's another chunk there. Pop that to one side. Rightio, which way up shall we have it? I think we'll have it that way up. Now then, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to grab my little sparkle pen and I'm going to sparkle up those beautiful wings. So there we go. They're beautiful, aren't they? Beautiful. There we go. There's a bit of red on there from last time I've used it. I don't know, mucky pup. Right, I'll pop that to one side. I'm loving the look of, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Right, so I'll pop that in there. Right, so I'm just going to try and get my watercolour paper flat again. My watercolour card even. There we go, that's a bit better. I've got to get this on top of the card as well. Right, so I've got my beautiful bee and I'm just going to decide on a sentiment as well. So if we're going to pop our gorgeous bee here, our sentiment, let's have a look. A true queen knows that their crown isn't on her head but in her soul. I love that one. So I'm going to say that nice. I'm going to use that one. So I'm just going to grab a stamping block and my Versifine. Oopsie daisy. Oh, you're a mucky pup, Alicia. There we go. Right, so if our beautiful bee is going to go there, I'm going to pop, let's have a look, we'll pop this down here. There we go. So I'm just going to, hopefully, that will go. It's a little bit squishy, but I'm not too worried about it. Right, and then I'll tell you what I didn't do, and I always do, is my gold splats. And if you watch my actual videos on YouTube, my pre-recorded ones, you'll see that I always use, or I use the gold splats a lot. And also my little dewdrops, they're not going to escape today either. So I'm just going to there we go. I think sometimes a few splats makes all the difference. Right, there we go. What do you think? Okay, and it's so quick and easy. I don't do difficult, can't do difficult. So then all I'm going to do now is just give my beautiful bee a little bit of juju with her wings. That's another one for you, Maz, a juju. Just to, there we go. Can you see? Just gives that little bit of dimension. I shall get a bit more dimension in a minute because I'm going to use glue gel to pop her on there. So, oops a daisy, let's take the end off there. There we go. Right, come on, missus. Okay, so I'm going to pop her there in the middle. Nicely popped up there. Beautiful. Beautiful. And of course my dewdrops as well. I won't get away with not having any dewdrops in. So I'm going to pop Funky Fossil do the dewdrops as well, but unfortunately I've used all of Sarah's, so I am going to have to put an order in and get some more. That's why I'm using these big ones, because every time I get them, I use them up more or less straight away, because my projects always seem to have the dewdrops on. Of course they do. There we go. Come, down you go. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to turn that round there. I'm forever making words. Oh yeah, me too, Maz. Honestly, the things that have come out of my mouth sometimes, and the people just look at me in awe, and I was like, why, what? And they'll tell me what I've said, and I think, no, I didn't. But I usually do, invariably do. Right. So, to finish off now, I have got a backing card. Now then, do I go around it? No, I'm going to leave because I think it says what it needs to say. Right, some glue. So I'm going to pop this on now so I can finish this card, because we've been just over 20 minutes and I am aware it's coming up for making tea time. And I've really enjoyed myself on my first live. Thank you so much for joining me and staying with me. I'm so glad I'm not... No, you're not alone, Maz, seriously. Thank you, Maz, as well, for being here, and Corolla. And I've got a Facebook user, which I don't know who that is, but hello, and thank you so much as well for your lovely comments. I will get used to it. I'll get used to how it works. I'm using StreamYard, so I think I need to like put allowing things on and things like that. So I've just managed to... Isn't it when you're going live, you make all these mistakes? Let's just get rid of you. There you go. Right, so I'm going to call that done because I don't want to overdo it. I'll turn that round so that you can see it. I've really enjoyed making that. And I'm so pleased that you stayed with me as well. So I'm going to call that done. I'll turn it round so whichever way around. I don't know which way around you're going to see this. So until I play it back later and work out how it's viewed on Facebook, I won't know what it is. But again, thank you very much. Appreciate you being with me on my first live. I hope you enjoy the rest of your bank holiday Monday. And let me know if you've enjoyed the live. If you want me to do more, I'm quite happy to do more. If you do and you've got any Funky Fossil stamp sets that you would like me to play with and create with, that'd be brilliant, because it means I can do a little bit of prepping and think of things to do for you, rather than kind of going on a wing and a prayer. Wing and a prayer. And yeah, I'm going to call that a do, and I'm going to go and get another cup of tea and make my tea as well. I'm going to have a chicken dinner today, so there you go. Right, guys, thanks very much, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.